Hello guys, this is a general post-hibernation update and kind of ant room tour of the ant dorks. A bunch of you folks have been here to pick up colonies and stuff like that, but this is my bedroom. So this is unfortunately the best place I have and most easily temperature controlled where we live. So this is also the ant room. And this is our setup for our colonies kind of in the bigger outworlds in the back, and then our kind of transitioning colonies in these small test tube outworld setups that we have. And then this is what we call the nursery. This is where ants are still in test tubes. And in my closet here, where we'll start, is the queen box. So this was, the brown one is our original queen box, and then we graduated and made this thing. And I'm sure it's hard to see because it's all black here, but these are grooved, and these are so that there's a lump right there. So the test tubes sit in there and don't roll, and there are 10 here, 10 slots here, and there's 6 drawers. So there's actually room for 120 queens. The only ones we have in here this year, because nothing's flown yet, are 2 chromatoasters, because they overwinter before they lay, and they're right here. And I'm not going to disturb them, because I only do that once a week, and I've posted pictures, and we've seen them before. It's nothing special. But there are 2 chromatogaster queens there that are doing good, and when they have nanitics, then they graduate to this place, and this is, like I said, we call the nursery. And right now we've got a number of, you saw there was a temperature control in the queen box. There was a kind of an outdoor thermometer, and that reads right here. So I don't even know if you can see this, but it's at 75, which is right where we want it. So it's at 75, and I can always tell if it overheats because there's a display out there, and we have similar things here. That one's at 74.6, that one's at 72.6, but that gives us an idea of what the temperature is. And we have a 15 watt heating cable here that is warm. We don't put it obviously right next to the tubes, and then covering it up with the towel kind of spreads the warmth from the middle to the outside. So generally this part of the tube is warmer, that part of the tube is cooler on both sides, and then it gives them some degree of a temperature gradient. And some species like to move up near the warmth, and some like to stay away from it. It just kind of depends, but it gives them at least some degree of choice there. And this is felt covered, like corrugated metal, again, so that the tubes don't roll around and whatnot. So this is where the nursery is, and we have a number of colonies here. I've sent pictures of a bunch of them, and I'm not going to go through every one, but here's a good example of a couple of sea pens. Both of these, if you're on the list and are waiting for a sea pen from us, you're getting one of these 2. They are both doing very well. They're both laying already, both with, I think both have pupa. Nope, only one. But they are, so we have sea pens. These are from last year. And then I'm not going to show you the next 3 are Formica. Formica are so skittish, I really don't want to bother them any more than I have to. But we will look at some of these other ones. This is a Formica neonagates that I've had to foster and restart twice, and she has still not been successful. So she is being restarted for the 3rd time. She's from last year, and I'm going to see if I can get her some pupa shortly. But she's laying already. And on this side are the smaller ones. These first 7 are Temnothorax curvispinosus, and I'll just pull out a representative one because I'm not going to go through all of them. Now these guys will probably stay in the nursery forever, pretty much. I mean, they're so small that it's they don't need a whole lot of room even for a full colony. So you can see there's a lot of pupa. They do not spin cocoons in this species, so there's a lot of pupa there, and this colony is at about 14 workers, I think, and there's probably half dozen pupa at least. So all of these were caught on the black light. All of these temnos were caught on the black light last year, and of course not every single one of them has done well. There have been some queens that have had trouble, but in general most of the colonies seem to be very easy to bring up. These last 2, I'll disturb one of them. These are, one second, switch it around here. There we go. This is a fiddle, and she has 2 larvae and 1 worker. Started last year. Don't see the worker, but they're so small they hide like up against the cotton and stuff all the time, so it's hard to see. There it is. So 2 larvae and 1 worker. She's doing okay, not as well as we would like, but she seems to be coming out of hibernation and picking up again. This is another one right next to her, but it's having a little trouble. It doesn't have a worker right now, so I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm not going to disturb absolutely everything. We've already given updates on our larger colonies. This is the Nearcticus colony right here. You can see there's, just kind of set the camera here, you can see there's an awful lot of activity kind of on a regular basis in this colony. They just are really fun to watch. And we'll go through the nest because there are separate videos on this. And this is the Herculanus, Camponotus herculanus. And this is the Camponotus pennsylvanicus that's having trouble in restarting. And since I shot that video, actually, she's pumping out eggs like crazy, so that's very encouraging. And this is the Phaenogaster picea.